Hey guys. Okay, so I actually made this entire video like 2 days ago, and well, first I'll explain. So I haven't uploaded anything recently because like all my recording stuff is just like crapping out on me. Um, I think the lightning cable that the people gave me when I bought this iPad is just like kind of bad because it keeps, I don't know why, but like it keeps just like dropping the connection between my iPad and the computer. So when I'm trying to record, it'll record for like 4 minutes and then it'll just stop for no reason, and I've got to like try and unplug it and plug it back in like 6 different times to get it to work, and it's just like a nightmare. So I've been like really annoyed trying to make videos lately, and I've got a new idea for a series where I'm just gonna give you guys just like random tips and like random things that I've figured out while I've played this game since I've been playing it for like a year and a half now. There's probably some things that I've thought of that maybe you guys haven't had, or you guys haven't thought of yourself yet. It's like little random things, and like I'll say I'm like a math nerd, so I'm always looking for like ways to be more efficient playing this game. So yeah, a lot of the tips that I'm gonna give have to do with like efficiency, which that stuff's always pretty useful, and that's what this video is gonna be on. So I actually already filmed this entire video, but I had to do it in like 3 different parts, and I was just getting really annoyed. So I'm using a different lightning cable, and it looks like it's working. So I'm gonna just go from the beginning and do the entire thing again. So here we go. So first video in my random tips series that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna be talking about should you rearm your traps when people attack you, and I'm gonna argue that you shouldn't. And I'm gonna do a whole lot of math and stuff to back it up. Uh, for now, I'm probably just gonna explain what I did. I'm not gonna like actually throw all the math up on the screen because that would just take forever to do. If you guys really want me to, what I can maybe do is put it all in an Excel sheet and put that somewhere online where you guys, I'll put like a link to it and you guys can come look at it if you want, maybe like on my Facebook page or something. So if you're really interested and you want to see like all the math behind it actually worked out, I can do that for you. But otherwise, you're just gonna have to trust that I've done the math right. Uh, and actually trust that I can remember it right because I did all the math the other day, and I'm pretty sure I still remember all the numbers and everything the right way. Um, all right, so let's get into this. So my argument, like I said, is that you should not rearm your traps. Now let me say this first. When you're a really low level town hall, like town hall 4 or 5, maybe even 6, it can be beneficial to rearm your traps. Because like let's imagine like if you're like a town hall 4 or 5 and the person only has, I don't know what it is, like 120 troop space or something like that, even less at town hall 4 I think. Uh, then they're only going to be able to bring in like say 8 giants to an attack, and that's like a huge chunk of their army. So like let's say those 8 giants all walk over 2 spring traps and they lose 5 or 6 giants, Um, that basically is just going to like end their attack immediately. Uh, so early on, I would at least upgrade or rearm your spring traps. Bombs are kind of debatable in my opinion if you should rearm them or not. But spring traps early on, I would definitely rearm those. That's worth it. But like my base, like I never rearm traps, and so like all my traps should be disarmed right now. Like look at this, it's 167,000 gold to rearm all my traps. So like I'm just like imagine I rearm them all, I go out and do an attack, and then somebody comes back and decides I want to destroy the space, and they go all out for it, and they even if they just disarm half my traps, that's still 80,000 gold uh, that I'm gonna have to do again, like immediately after I do my attack. So like let's say I go out and I make 200,000 gold in a raid. That's pretty good. And then I come back and I have to spend almost 100,000 of that just to rearm my traps. And the person that attacked me probably got some gold too. So I mean, I think it's safe to say like half the gold I just earned has just gone to waste entirely because I rearmed all those traps. Um, and so yeah, that's not all the math I'm talking about. You'll see in a second when I actually get into it all. So what I've done, I'm going to compare my spot in the game versus D Cranny, which D Cranny is my Aussie friend from Australia. He's been in my clans forever, and he's actually the one running Aussie Cowboys right now. And even when I move one of my accounts back over there, he's still going to be running it. He does a really good job with it, so I like having him in control of that one. So good job, D. Kearney. I hope you don't mind me doing this. I haven't asked you for your permission or anything. I probably should, but I'm too excited about this video. I just want to get it out. So what we're going to do, we're going to compare a few different things um, to try and back up what I'm saying, I guess. So right now we're going to look at his gold grab on his profile. you can see he has made 448 million gold with some change on there uh, from looting playing this game. Now, you need to note that that doesn't take into account like the passive gold generation that you get from your collectors and stuff. So that's just from raiding. And I will say that dCranny has raided a lot more than I have. If you look at his, what is it? There's the winning multiplayer battles, and there's like the town halls destroyed in fights. He's done like way more than I have. Um, but that might also, I don't know exactly how he, like what bases he chooses when he raids. I don't ever go after people just for the town hall, really. And I also will ignore town halls. Like, even if people have the town hall outside their base, there's a lot of times, if I don't want to go in from that side to get the loot, I'll just ignore the town hall. So there are a lot of times where I like leave a town hall up where it should be easily destroyed. And I don't know if he does that or not. But regardless, that in the end, it shouldn't really play into any of this. So again, looking at his gold grab, he's got 448 million. If we go over to my profile and look, I've only gotten, where's that? There it is. 215 million with some change, about the same amount of change as him. So 215 million versus the 248 million from him. So now the next thing I guess we need to look at is if we look at his base, because now I'm level 101, and if you look at him, he's level 115, I think, unless he recently leveled up. Yeah, he's 115. So if we go back to his base and let's look at this, you can see his base is more upgraded than mine. Now, one thing to look at, I've actually done about 20 more walls than he has, but I've been using a lot of elixir to upgrade my walls. I don't know if he's done that or not. So I'm just going to ignore the wall part of this, but those 20 walls would come out to 20 million more resources than what he's used. But again, not all of that is elixir. So I'm just going to assume that we've used the same amount of, or not all of that was gold, I'm sorry. So I'm just going to assume that we've used the same amount of gold to upgrade our walls, because we're pretty close. So ignoring the walls, and also ignoring traps. I'm not sure what level his traps are. At the end, I'll probably just add on 10 million gold for all the traps, because he has upgraded his traps higher than I have, I think. Okay, so let's look into this, though. As far as gold upgrades go, we both have the same clan castle. We're the same on wizard towers. Actually, he's upgrading that one now. But yeah, we're the same on wizard towers, and we're the same on expos. But everything else, he's upgraded more than I have. So what I've done is figured out, if we go back to my base, what I've done is figured out how much gold would I need. Let's just say I only looted for all that gold. How much gold would I need to equal his base? So what I've done, I've taken the 4.5 million for all 6 of my archer towers. I've added that up. The 4.32 million for all of my air defenses. The 3.2 million for my mortars. The 3 million for this Tesla, and then the 3.5 million for all 4 of the Teslas to go up to the next level, and the 3.2 million for all of my cannons. And everything else should be even. That's all the gold upgrades that we've done. Oh, also, he's done his air sweeper up 1 more level than I have, so 2.4 million for that. So if you add up all of that gold, it comes out to like 84 million. And so if you add that 84 million on to my 215 million or whatever it was, yeah, 215 million, and then you take the amount of gold that he's looted versus the amount of gold that I've looted, that comes up to 150 million. So that's like the big number. It's actually 149 million. I'm just saying 150 million. So let's say it's 150 million gold difference between us, where if I had that extra 84 million gold on, and I upgraded all those defenses, we would be the exact same base, essentially. That's what I'm saying. So as long as we're good with that, we can keep going. So basically, for 150 million gold less than what he spent, I would have the same base as him. Okay, so let's get a grasp on that. We understand what I'm trying to say there. So now we got to look at like the other factors that would go into that. So first of all, I've been playing the game longer than dCranny. Obviously, he raids a lot more than me. You can tell that because he's made over twice as much gold as I have from looting. So the next thing we need to look at is our passive gold generation from our gold mines. So I'm actually going to do an overestimate on this. I'm going to assume that basically for the whole time I've had max level gold mines and that he's had max level gold mines. Now we know, like, well, first off, the level 12 gold mines and elixir collectors, that just came out in an update a few months ago. So that's definitely not the case. I was sitting at level 11 for a long time, but I'm going to do all the calculations based on the level 12 ones. So now I need to figure out how much longer have I been playing the game than DCranny. If we're going to actually figure out how much more gold I've generated just from passive generation. So the way I've figured out how to do this is if you look at the nice and tidy profile, or the nice and tidy achievement in your profile, that'll tell you how many obstacles you've cleared out. Now, the way the obstacles work in this game, I don't know if you knew this or not. Here's another small tip. This one's free. For every 8 hours that the game goes on, a new obstacle forms, which is just like a bush or a tree, whatever. And we've both always had all of our obstacles cleared out. Or we've at least never been to the point where we had 50 obstacles and like we couldn't get any more. Actually, it might go past 50. I'm not even sure. But we've never been at the point where it's maxed out and like we can't keep making more. So this is a pretty fair way to estimate, I guess, how long we've been playing. So what I've done, I've taken the 1603 obstacles for mine, and then if you look at his, it is 1,377. So if you subtract those, you get, there's 226 obstacles more that I've cleared. So if you do that times 8 hours, that comes out to, I've played 1,808 more hours than he has. Now I think that's a pretty reasonable way of getting how much longer I've played the game than he has. There might be a few like little things you could argue with that, but as far as like the overall time, I think that's going to be pretty accurate. And I know I've only played the game, I think it was only like 2 or 3 months more than him. He was always like pretty close to me, and he ended up passing me because he did raid a lot more than I did. So what I'm going to do now is take that 1,808 hours more that I've played, and I'm going to calculate how much more passive gold that I've generated. So if we do that, we have 6 gold mines that are 3,500 per hour. This is what I'm saying is an overestimate, because I haven't always had that much generation coming in, more than he has. But that's how we're going to do the calculation, just to be safe. So if I do that 1,808 hours times 6 times 3,500, I get there's 38 million gold more that I've generated through playing the game, just from playing the game, than he has. So if we take that 149 million, what is it, 149 minus the 38 million I just said, that's still 111 million gold difference between us for us to have the same base. Now, like I said, I'm going to take off another 10 million, or we'll just take off the 11 million for the traps, because he has done a little more traps than I have. So that comes out to 100 million. And that's really the number I want to settle on right now. He's spent, or there's 100 million gold difference between us. And then that, again, that would be for us to have the same base, essentially, right now in the game. If I could immediately do all those upgrades, that's what it would be. I would have, there'd be 100 million gold difference less that I've spent to get to that point. Now, there's a few things, my theory is there's a few things that go into that. It's not all just traps, because 100 million gold just on traps, that's a little ridiculous, I think. So I guess now is where I'm going to get into, and this is probably a few other tips that I'll give you in here too, to kind of explain how I came to the, or what is making that 100 million gold difference. So, and again, this is 100 million gold. That's a ton, if you ask me. So like my theories is, first off, if you look at my defense log, look at this. Like not a single person has actually tried to attack my base. Look at this. Every single person. Like this is what happens. This is like worst case scenario for me. People come in and they use lightning spells on my Dark Elixir to take some of my Dark Elixir. But like look at this. I have not had a single person like actually go for my base in my entire attack log, or my entire defense log, I mean. And that goes on even farther. Like it's probably been like a month since somebody's actually attacked my base. And the reason behind that is I'm really efficient with the way I spend my resources. So first off, I've got my town hall outside my base, which pretty much the entire time I've been playing this game on my home base, I've always had my town hall outside my base, unless I'm trophy pushing, which I've only done that once or twice, where I've really tried to get up to a higher level. So by doing that, naturally people just want to take my town hall and I get a free shield, or at least every single time somebody does an attack, even if they do go for my base, they almost always give me a free shield. So that's one thing. People aren't stealing my resources that much. And then the other reason that like nobody attacks my base the way I spend my resources, I basically choose one resource that I really want to focus on. So like right now, I'm basically only worrying about Dark Elixir. So my main goal is to upgrade my heroes and get my Dark Elixir troops upgrading. So like you can see, I've got my golems going up to level 4. And so basically with my golden elixir, all I've been doing is dumping that into walls. Which I get earlier on. It's harder to do that with elixir. There are a lot of times where, especially at Town Hall 8, where you just get stuck sitting on like max elixir and there's nothing you can do with it really, since you can't use elixir to upgrade walls at that level. So for me now it's easier, but again, that's just elixir. You can always dump gold into walls, and gold is what we're comparing. So that really shouldn't skew the numbers too much. But yeah, that's the way that nobody ever attacks me, because I never have any golden or elixir. So the only thing that people would ever attack me for would be my dark elixir, which if you look, I've got my dark elixir in the middle of my base, and I've got all of my splash damage surrounding it, with my wizard towers here, mortars, all that stuff. Basically, my entire base is just set up to defend my dark elixir. So basically, it discourages people from ever wanting to attack me. Now again, this would be harder to do with elixir or with gold, because you do have 3 and then later on 4 gold storages that you have to defend, or early on 2, I guess. So it is a little bit harder to defend your gold. It's like if you are sitting on a lot of gold, people are going to attack you, and they are going to get some. So for a while now, I haven't had any gold that people have been stealing, which I don't know what D. Cranny does. I'm assuming this plays into it some, but like if he's sitting on like 2 million gold, and he's also got like 1 million elixir and then like 60,000 dark elixir, people are going to attack him because he has a lot of resources, and they're going to take some gold, some elixir, and some dark elixir probably. So part of that 100 million difference between us, I think, is probably because I'm assuming people raid him. Like, I mean, you saw in mine, like literally nobody ever raids my base to go for gold. Right now. I mean, earlier on in the game people did, but like nobody does that right now. And so I'm assuming for him, people do raid him for gold sometimes. And so I'm assuming some of that 100 million difference is because people have actually raided him and stolen more gold. The next thing I want to get into, which I was going to do this as a separate video, but I'll go ahead and include it in this one. This video is getting really long, I'm sorry, but I'm very passionate about this subject. Efficiency is like my #1 thing in life, so here we go. You got to stick it out to the long haul. Okay, so the next thing, I guess, would be timing your shields. Okay, so when I'm talking about timing your shields, what I mean is, like I'm basically just going to give you 2 scenarios. So let's say it's midnight. I'm about to go to bed. I've got a 6-hour shield left. Okay, that's what our scenario is going to be for both of these cases. So it's midnight. I'm about to go to bed. I've got a 6-hour shield left. So case 1, I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, I'm tired. I'm about to go to bed. I've got a 6-hour shield. I'll just wait, and I won't do an attack. I don't want to lose my shield, you know. I'm gonna wait until I get up in the morning. Then I'll do my attack then. I'll be good then. So I go to bed. 6 hours go by. That entire time I'm collecting resources. So I'm collecting. I'll actually do the math really fast. So if I've got 6 hours shield, and then let's say somebody waits an hour to attack me. So there's 7 hours where I was collecting resources. That's 7 hours times 3,500 per collector times 6 of them. So that's almost 150,000 gold that I've collected in my mines and pumps that night. So I got 150,000 gold saved up. It's 7 a.m. I'm not waking up at 7 a.m. because I'm a lazy bum. I'm getting up at 10 a.m. So 7 a.m. somebody attacks me, and let's say that they're smart and they look at my gold mines and my elixir collectors and they see, oh, almost all of his resources are sitting out there, or at least he's got a significant amount out there. I'm just going to take those out. So they barch me or drop in some goblins and they take all those out. Now, whenever you attack elixir collectors or gold mines, you can take 50% of what's in those. So say I've got 150,000 saved up, they take half of that. So I'm going to be sitting there, I'm going to be sitting there losing about 75,000 gold. I wake up at 10 a.m. and I'm like, oh man, I lost like 75,000 gold that night that I didn't need to lose at all because I could have broken my shield earlier. So that's what I'm getting into now. Going to case number 2. So again, that case right there, I lost 75,000 gold for absolutely no reason. So now, case number 2. It's 12 o'clock at night. I'm about to go to bed. And I'm like, oh, I've only got a 6-hour shield. That means it's going to go off at 6 a.m. I'm not going to be up then. So here's what I'm going to do. whether I do an attack or not, I don't even need to attack somebody. I'm just going to hit the attack button, hit find a match. It's going to ask me, do I want to break my shield? And I say yes. I click in battle. I've broken my shield. I don't even need to attack. Collect all my resources, go to bed. So now what's going to happen is 30 minutes to an hour later, somebody's going to come across my base and they're going to be like, oh, a free town hall. I want some trophies and the loot bonus, or like the league bonus for taking out a town hall and getting a star. So they're going to take out my town hall. I get a free 12-hour shield. I lost no resources doing this. I lose like 1,000 resources from what you get in the town hall. So I lost absolutely no resources doing this. Get my free shield till, at that point now, it would be like 1 o'clock the next day. I wake up at 10 o'clock. I can sleep until 11 o'clock. Whatever I want to do. I wake up. I collect all those resources. Get like 150,000 resources instead of 75,000. And then I'm like, all right, now it's time to start doing attacks and stuff for the day. And then I can start attacking. So that's a 75,000 gold difference, potentially every night. Let's say you do that every night and you never even think about it. That's 75,000 gold difference every single night. So yeah, I think that's actually a pretty massive difference that I think a lot of people probably haven't thought about. Yeah, so that is one area where I could say that 100 million gold difference between us could come into play, or that could be a cause of it, would be timing your shields right. Okay, so those are two things that have played into it, that 100 million gold difference between us. One being people probably do attack him a little more often and do take gold from him, which I don't know for sure if that's true, but if you look at my defense log, I almost think it has to be true. Like, if somebody ever attacks him, that's basically more than what's happening to me. So he's probably lost a little bit more gold because of that. And I think earlier on... Hey guys, sorry the video cut out. Like I said, this happens so much, it drives me nuts. Yeah, like I was saying, I think earlier on in the game, D. Cranny kept his town hall inside his base a lot, whereas like I've pretty much always had mine outside my base. So when he kept his inside his base, just naturally, people are going to do more of an all-out attack on you if your town hall's inside your base. Whereas if your town hall's outside your base, most of the people are just going to be like, oh, I want the trophies. I don't know why, but I want the trophies, so I'm just going to take the town hall. So that was kind of my last point. So, like I said, to summarize it all, I guess, there's 100 million gold difference between me and D. Cranny. If right now I was to have the exact same base as him. And so, like I said, that's accounted for through, I'm assuming, timing shields. I don't know if this is necessarily the case for him. The main point of using him was he was someone kind of close to my level, so I could actually run some numbers and come up with something. So, but like just in general with people, I think timing your shields is a big deal, and not losing loot during the night. Keeping your town hall outside your base and only focusing on one resource at a time is huge because people just won't attack your base very often. And then thirdly, the main point of this video is don't rearm your traps. The loot that you're going to use to rearm them is not worth the loot that they're going to save you. It just doesn't work. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. If you question any of my logic, please leave me a comment. I would love to get some debate on this topic. And if maybe I have like left out some details that really could skew the numbers. I don't think I have, but maybe I have. So if you guys see any flaws in my logic, leave me a comment and we can talk it out. And I might even make like a follow-up video to this where I talk more about it. And like I said, if you guys don't trust my numbers, you can work it yourselves, or what you can do is I guess just bug me about it, and I will put it all on an Excel sheet. It really wouldn't take me more than like 5 minutes probably to put all this in an Excel sheet, and then put that up for you guys to see. So yeah, if you don't trust my numbers, either do it yourself or I'll put up an Excel sheet and link it in my video or something, and you guys can go check that out. But yeah, thanks for watching. Tell people about this video. I'm telling you, 100 million gold is a massive difference, and if you're playing the game to where you can save that much gold, I don't know, it just makes a huge difference, in my opinion. It makes you where you can play less, and you still get a ton out of it, or you can play more and then get even farther into the game faster if you want. So yeah, tell people about this video. I really do think it's like a really interesting concept. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, especially comment. I love reading comments. So yeah, I will talk to you guys in the next video.